everybody. Welcome back to the Free Assange Vigil. This is an emergency meeting of the minds here. We got some ridiculous news today that we're going to be talking about. So today, first of all, hi, Glory Jones. Hi, Alex Hills. Hi, Eric. Hi, everybody. Hi, everybody.
Hi.
Very stressful day. Shit's not looking good. Okay, so today it was announced that the Supreme Court has denied to hear the appeal. So here we go. This is so I should mention that this doesn't necessarily there are still other avenues. Obviously they can still appeal all of the press freedom stuff. So this was basically just on the mental health stuff and all of that. So there's still other options for appeal. And all of that good stuff, but it still means that Julian Assange remains in prison for even longer while we wait for this ridiculous process to play out, which is the intent, is to just keep him in jail and prison and tied up in legal bullshit for as long as humanly possible. So I don't know, does anybody want to open with some bitching and moaning, or shall I jump into some articles here?
Well, I guess Priti Patel in UK now has a rubber stamp job to do in terms of approving that decision, which means that the legal team have to come up with something pretty quick to combat what's going on. And I mean, we all know that going for the press freedom issues, really, everyone was worried that risks Julian's health. It's always been about his health in the first place, just to make sure he gets out of there. But now, there's not many avenues left, as you say, but there are some possibilities. But I've been beginning to call out again to try and get global protests going. We've got the wedding on the 23rd. We've got the 11th of April. It's the third year that he's been since
we will be in DC
from the Ecuadorian embassy.
We will be in DC.
So you guys are doing
11th.
that. Yeah, we'll do something in Wellington. There'll be I think Tulsa, San Francisco, London, of course. So I'm already seeing quite a lot. Brussels has got some stuff planned throughout April. Germany, as always, is doing their weekly stuff. We've got Steve Gong in Sydney doing his weekly stuff. So we need to jump on board these and try and reinforce them. I can only imagine, to try and get as much resistance to this as possible right now. As soon as possible.
Yeah, we need to become Priti Patel's worst fucking nightmare. We need to be tweeting at her daily, like multiple times a day. We need to be calling. We need to be
calling, mailing, emailing.
Yeah, calling, mailing. It'd be annoying as fuck. Like,
what
it's
about
going to be
her
annoying
house?
as fuck. What
about her house?
Where she live?
I think we're getting into this stage.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if that's
we are in this stage.
Listen, I'm not in London. I'm not in the UK. I don't currently have the means or the schedule that allows for me to be able to travel.
But if you are in London,
Priti Patel's house, so I'm gonna leave that under the jurisdiction of Team London.
Yes.
But if it were me,
I would be at her house.
I think if we did a world focus, I think the problem is we're always trying to kind of reach so broadly to people like the parliament or the government. And I think that the pressure needs to be laid firmly on the people that are rubber stamping this stuff. Mm-hmm. And the more that we get global focus on one person in England, do you know what I mean? Like, everyone's ringing them up, everyone's emailing them, everyone's tweeting. We just do it for a week and then maybe we move to the next person. Do you know what I mean? But I think we've got to stop this trying to kind of broadly kind of stand. I mean, obviously, Wellington's just had it stand outside the Parliament House for 23 days and got broken up violently by police. But I think we have to get more focused, because people need to know that the pressure's on them and they're making these decisions that their grandkids will look back on and go, what the hell were you doing? Right? So this is why I think that, we do need to focus this worldwide. And there may be people in America that we need to focus this on specifically as well. Yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm. But right now, the decision is in the hands of Priti Patel. And I reckon if we could get a global protest on the 23rd, went on his wedding day, I don't know if that's appropriate. Is that? No, that's probably inappropriate.
Fuck yes, that's appropriate.
Is it?
I don't
know.
definitely appropriate.
Yeah, that's appropriate.
That's definitely appropriate.
I'm not about a celebration right now. I'm about
Right,
like
yeah.
digging
I'm
heels and
not
with,
about
like,
a fucking, you know,
no.
I'm not
Yeah.
gonna say it. I'm not
I
gonna
think
say it.
Julian
Be
would
nice,
approve
Corey
of his
Jones.
wedding day being made like that. I mean, we were talking at one point of getting churches to ring bells on that day,
Yeah.
bells for Assange. Obviously, Truman's been doing his balls and ribbons for Assange, yellow ribbons for Assange. I think, you know, we need to focus really hard on single people, and we should do England in the first week, and then we should do America in the second week, and then we
Let's
should
do
do
Priti
Australia in the
Patel,
third
and
week.
then Merrick Garland, and then
Yeah,
who,
and then Australia,
who in
because
Australia should we focus on?
well, I mean, I guess we have to go to the Foreign Affairs or the Prime Minister, Scott Morrison.
Okay.
Maurice Payne in Australia is someone who should have been doing something.
Yes.
And there's certainly some cross-party support, as we know there, and we've got that in many places. Even New Zealand, I can report now, we've got an MP who is supporting Julian. This is the first one, so that's a real achievement in amongst the horrible news, and that's thanks to Aotearoa for Assange up in Auckland.
Yes.
So
love them. Yeah.
Thanks for them. Yeah.
Yes. No, I agree. I think we need to get singularly focused on individual people. I think this broad, like reaching out to the Department of Justice or whatever, that's not working anymore.
Paula was doing this on her own, and I think we need to do it en masse.
Well, when we're going to be there in DC, I'm not going to say that we're going to show up at Merrick Garland's house, but we might show up at Merrick Garland's house.
Okay.
Does anybody have Bluetooth speakers?
Yes. Okay. And I'm gonna get a sound thingy, portable sound thingy. You know what I'm talking about? Like the one Paula has. I'm gonna get one of those. And so we can be very, very loud, and we'll have lots of megaphones. And I have no problem being super annoying. I have no problem at all being super annoying. So,
one of the things we found very successful in some of the New Zealand protests before the big one was that we had some really great voices. People like Deepa, people like John Pilger, people like Craig Murray, people talking in a manner which brings it home. And we were playing that really loudly over sound systems, and we had like little boards with you could write things on it and put out a little message at any one time. So something like that really plays a really respected voice into loudly into the arena outside a building that's important for some reason. That would be great.
Yes. And if you guys can help us too, I'm still trying to reach out to people to come to our protest on the 11th. I would love to see people like Jimmy Dore. Reached out to Jimmy Dore. Yeah. It's just scheduling with him. So it's just, I know he's on tour. So it's, it's just a matter of whether or not he can make it. I know Ron Placone and Krish Mohan are going on tour, like in the area, like the Pittsburgh. That's not too far for them. So if they could even come down, anybody that you can think of.
It just would be nice to see some big names who've got thousands of followers actually get behind the grassroots people who are on the ground, the people doing Piccadilly Circus and Belmarsh Prison and outside Sydney Town Hall, the people that have been doing this. We've got to get them
not just on a little heyday telethon panel like, I've always supported Julian Assange, let's go do this.
I support 100.
Let me make sure I'm giving out all the right key points that were assigned to me. Let me make sure I qualify this by saying that I disagree with Julian Assange on his political position. Like, nah, none of that fucking bullshit.
Let me tell a congressional candidate. Not to speak about Julian Assange. Let me do that.
Raise actual noise about this case.
Yes.
Not spread it within an echo chamber of media elite.
No.
Actually get on the ground and make some noise for this, so that way you can generate more public pressure on little fuckwads like Priti Patel and Merrick Garland and anybody else who's an actor in this case. Because especially with April 11th coming up, that'll be 3 years since Julian Assange was dragged out the Ecuadorian embassy. Let's go.
Also, April 5th is the anniversary. April 5th is the anniversary of the release of Collateral Murder. We need to push that. I mean, that needs to be a big fucking deal. We need to spread that all day long that day. It needs to be on everybody's timeline. It needs, I'll just do a vigil and I'll just run Collateral Murder. Everybody needs to do that. Everybody needs to do that. We need to start pushing out this stuff. We need to start showing what Assange revealed. We need to start, it's time to go balls to the fucking wall. It's been time, but it's really time to go balls to the fucking wall. He's this close to extradition, y'all. This close. It's very, very close. He's dying. They're killing him anyway. But I mean, we can't wait anymore. Like, I'm so tired of people waiting.
He's dying. He's in terrible health.
Yeah.
It's very clear that another WikiLeaks hasn't come by. Effective precedents have already been set. And, you know, rather than trying to save his life, it's getting turned into a fucking soap opera. I hate to say it.
Yeah.
But it's true. So, like, just fucking go.
Yes. Okay, so our friend in Ardmore, Oklahoma, on the 17th, if you're in the area, she'll be out on tomorrow and Wednesday as well. They're doing a great job. They are out there all the time, and she tells me constantly that like a lot of people in that area are aware of who Julian Assange is, and they support Julian Assange. And so, like, that's the kind of stuff we need people to do. Get a poster board and a Sharpie and go be a one-person protest. Like, that's all it takes. Go hang some flyers. Go whatever. Go, like Truman's doing the balls. Go take balls.
Stand outside a media company. I mean, in New Zealand, my biggest gripe is that it's probably the worst place in the world to get fair information about Julian Assange. And so I think I might be maybe getting the next protest to be standing outside RNZ, as well as focusing on, you know, the embassies, the British embassy for Priti Patel. Maybe we'll even do a march between the two. We've just had a merger of our national radio with TVNZ, which is just such a joke, because it was, you know, how you ended up. It's like the BBC in New Zealand, I suppose. They're RNZ, and now they're merging together. And if anyone remembers, they're the people that couldn't spell Assange. And when we did that great big birthday protest that we helped instigate around the world, we couldn't get it in the media at all. They were like, oh, it's old news. And the protests were still rolling out around the world. I was just like, you guys are shocking. So, yeah, I think we might focus outside a media. No, I think we'll make them uncomfortable again. I think we've got to, while we can still protest. I don't know how much longer that will be the case in New Zealand. But, yeah, I think we have to stand outside and make people uncomfortable at lunch hour, on a weekday when people are working. You know, embassies too. If you're going to do embassies, I think it's not worth doing them on the weekend, even though the protests are going to be bigger on the weekend. I think that is a no-no for getting word out, because, you know, they're all comfortably at home, not working. And I think we've got to start making individuals feel uncomfortable, feel like their grandkids are going to ask questions. Yes. That's what you have to do. We have to securitize that.
I mean, this is what we've been saying for fucking ever. Ever. Like, it's like lawyers aren't going to get this done. Period. End of story. Lawyers are not going to. It's going to take mass public pressure. Unless if you decide to actually go and rest in peace, Jay Lederman. Unless if you decide to go and actually like scumbag this and focus on getting Julian out of prison, or at least securing some form, cost. Or at least securing some form of house arrest so you can get him some medical care. Because, I mean, like, it's clear the way the law actually works. It's clear the way the empire maneuvers to make sure that it establishes these precedents regardless. It's clear the way that these fuckwads fucking move to make sure that the law doesn't actually affect them, yet they can manipulate it to affect those that it's supposed to fucking protect. That is very much clear, and I am fucking tired of defending that system, and I am fucking tired of having to deal with any sort of legitimization of that. So give that fucking wretched fucking system the respect that it deserves, and scumbag it. 0. And somebody asked if we can contact Priti Patel. Yes. Contact Priti Patel. Contact your representatives. Probably not going to do any good, but let's fucking be annoying. Call every single day.
Jump on a Facebook post. Just jump on any mainstream media versions and get the word out there, I guess.
Call the White House. Call the Department of Justice. Tweet at them. Everything you can do. Like, everything you can do. Everybody can do something. You can tweet. You can send an email. You can make a phone call. You can, all of those things. Everybody can do that. So let's do it. Like, let's stop fucking around and let's do it. About to become real fucking annoying, dude. About to come.
There's been a lot of anti-war protests that have been popping up as a result of, you know, Russia, Ukraine. That's another opportunity.
Those up.
Yeah, that's a great opportunity to really infiltrate those and get that message out with those groups.
Yes. You wouldn't even be infiltrating it, because it's like at the end of the day, this is something
wrong choice of
Julian,
words.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I get what you're saying though, but like
Yeah.
at the end of the day, this is something that Julian has said himself. What they
Right.
mean to do by targeting him and by smearing and criticizing him is they want to put the energy on him and take it away for what his from what his persecution means for press freedom and journalism, and take attention away from the actual fucking crimes committed, so that way the victims of said crimes won't get any sense of justice. That way they'll continue to be, just ignored and silenced completely.
Yes. Oh, I'm so over it.
And we've got to point out the hypocrisy of them talking about Nuremberg trials for Putin when, where are we with Tony Blair and all the other war criminals? Bush, where are we with them? You know, like, it's just so hypocritical. It's horrific.
Nothing.
Yeah.
And so you guys are doing on the 10th and the 11th. Have I got that right? You've got the in the wars.
In the damn wars on the 10th.
In the damn wars.
Free Assange, we're going to do a protest from 10 to noon at the British Embassy. And then we're going to do another one from 2 to 4 at the Department of Justice. And there may be some other guerrilla actions.
So both on the 10th? Both on the 10th as opposed to the 11th?
No, the end of the wars is on the 10th, and then the Assange ones are on the 11th.
Okay.
But really, they're both going to be Assange ones because I'm an Assange.
Right. Well, the one on the 10th, is like more broadly anti-war. The ones on the 11th are strictly focusing on Assange because, again, 3 years since he was fucking dragged from the Ecuadorian embassy following a literal fucking bribe to Lenin bitch ass Moreno, and taken to Belmarsh prison where he still is.
So I have my thread up on the screen. You can share this thread because this thread highlights exactly what the fuck is going on here. The wrong person is in fucking prison. George W. Bush, war criminal. Tony Blair, war criminal. These are all war criminals. These are the people who should be in prison, not Julian Assange. All of these motherfuckers are psychopaths who've committed war crimes and perpetuated. Y'all, these are the people who should be in jail, not Julian. Look at all these scumbags. Look, there's the death walrus. Fuck that guy. He needs to be in prison.
Yeah. You have someone who represents the truth like Julian, as opposed to Mike Pompeo, who admits in a fucking room talking about fucking West Point. Oh, yeah, I was the director of the CIA. We lied, we cheated, we stole. We had entire training courses dedicated to it. It reminds you of the glory of the American experiment, you fucking cunt.
Yeah. Fuck these guys. They're all scumbags. These are all psychopaths. I'm going to retweet every single fucking one of these right now. Here we go. I'm seriously, like, people tell me all the time I'm annoying. You haven't seen anything yet. I'm about to get real fucking annoying. Real talk. That's what it's going to take. Period. And I could be less annoying if more people would start speaking up. How about that? If you want me to be less annoying, then help. Make Misty less annoying.
Yeah, it's getting frustrating when people are sort of criticizing Assange supporters for getting on board the protests, and I don't think they would for the anti-war ones so much, but they certainly have been on other issues. And I think, the fact is that this case, transcends and overarches all other issues. And it needs to be brought up, whether it's on the edge of a freedom protest, on the edge of an anti-war protest, or an anti-censorship protest. I think we've got to be there in the back of their mind, at least the back of the protest with a big banner, something, because pandering to people who aren't liking you protest in certain ways, or don't like you bringing up war criminals in comparison to freeing Julian or whatever.
All the time, though, in protests where you have different groups that would sponsor an event, so you'll have the environmental justice groups is sponsoring a Black Lives Matter protest, or a fucking gun rights group sponsoring an anti-mandate action, and it's like, oh, so independent Assange supporters, we just can't, we can't.
I'll do whatever the fuck I want. How about that?
Fucking protest.
I'll do whatever the fuck I want, and you can be mad. I don't care anymore. I didn't care to begin with, but I don't care. Like, what's happening to Julian Assange, and we've said this forever, literally impacts our ability to be effective activists for anything, period. So
And I think some Assange activists have got to get over the purity factor on
Yeah.
this. I think it's just we're done, as you say, we're done with all that bullshit. Come together, unify. Don't give a shit about what your opinion is or anything else. Just do it.
We've been that way the whole time. Action for Assange, when it was started, the whole
Yeah.
point was that we are post-partisan. I don't care who you voted for. I don't care what party you belong to. I don't care what ism you subscribe to. If you're willing to fight for Julian Assange and the future of press freedom, welcome aboard. No other questions need to be asked. I don't care where you stand on abortion. I don't care where you stand on anything else. Nothing. I don't care. If you're here to fight for press freedom, then welcome aboard. That's it. Over it. I don't know why that's so controversial. Like, am I supposed to like walk around the protest with a questionnaire, and if you're guilty of wrongthink, then we got to kick you out? No, fuck that. That's stupid.
Listen,
that's self-defeating.
if you're supportive of Julian, if you're supportive of press freedom, if you're supportive of justice from, justice towards getting some sort of justice from all these crimes committed by the empire, and you don't want to be a fucking cuck about it, then you're welcome. You're welcome.
Yes.
You're welcome.
I don't know why that's controversial. Get over it.
Press freedom was, already hanging by a thread, well before Assange was ever put in Belmarsh. And I can attest to that. Being a military journalist for 10 years, I saw what journalism was, and it was not reporting on an entire picture of whatever it is I was covering. I'm sure what other people were covering. It was a snippet of what they wanted to be reported, and so you're funneling that even into an even smaller hole.
Yeah.
With this.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, like, in my mind, like, free speech honestly is very much like kind of a dead concept. I
look at what's happening right now.
Yeah, and I think acting like free speech isn't already dead in a large majority of the world and under a large majority of states, unfortunately. I think acting like it isn't already dead is kind of, I can see where it would turn people off from wanting to support Julian Assange, maybe, because then you get trapped in this mindset of like, oh, well, I already don't have free speech, so why would I fight to save it? Well, you fight for free speech the same way that fucking slaves fought for freedom, even though they had no fucking clue what that might have been. I mean, because you just have to. And
we've had a situation in New Zealand where 55 million this year alone has been given to all the mainstream media and all the Maori stations and all of the little stations have been bribed, and they've been told, do not go against government, whatever government policy is. This is your hush money to not go against anything we say. And it's been like that for a long time in New Zealand, to the point now where they're actually introducing something where they're going to stop live streams. They've already stopped RT here. Obviously, we've had all that as well. But on top of that, they're bringing in a bill that actually means that they can just shut down a live stream. And I know why they're doing it. They're doing it because people like Chantal Baker on Facebook had 25,000 people watching live. And their station couldn't even get 1,000. There's no way. And so they're horrified that all the violence of the police was broadcast. I mean, I know the world was all busy with Ukraine, Russia, and no one noticed, but a few people noticed, and it was broadcast to 20,000 people, and that's what they're scared of. And what that showed was all sorts of funny business, police, people coming in and burning tents, beating up old men, beating up women, pepper spraying themselves and blaming protesters for acid. So all of that stuff was captured on these live streams, and now they're talking about just doing away with it. So I think we're pretty far gone in the free press department over here. We've already had Jacinda saying, we are the only source of truth. Don't even go there.
Well, and
that's what frustrates me about people.
That's all the signal jamming too that happens at protests. That was a problem that I had when I was covering a lot of the Free Palestine events that happened. Was it last summer now? Either last summer, I believe, when I was covering a lot of the Free Palestine protest events, like I was getting signal jammed bad.
Well, this is what frustrates me about people that don't want to fight for free speech because free speech is dead. Well, okay, so you're just going to lay down and die? Like, you're just going to lay down and let them take complete control of the narrative and not fight to get something back and not fight for your right to have access to information and to inform yourself and to
That's
educate
what I'm
yourself?
saying.
It's fucking annoying. Like, it's okay. Then you just go and you sit down and you let authoritarian takeover happen, and don't bother. Like, what I don't understand.
You know
I
what they
don't
did in New
Like,
Zealand to stop the live streams? They actually broadcast Macarena over and over again,
Get the fuck
and a
outta
whole bunch
here.
of
Copyright.
commercial tunes non-stop all
Copyright,
night to camping families
They do that
on the
here.
Parliament ground, and they played that so that people's Facebook streams would just stop or go silent.
Yep.
Even if they were streaming out, they'd often go silent, so people were having to stay away from that music, which is often where the violence was happening. And not only that, I don't know if you heard, in Australia and in New Zealand, we had EMF weapons confirmed that were making people sick at the protests. This is like a criminal scene here, and it's just unbelievable how little of that has got out. We're just a bunch of white supremacists or whatever, the usual crap that's going out on the media. And I mean, I met pilots, surgeons, midwives, doctors, there was paramedic teams, there was like, churches and schools and plumbing and, they had everything. They had free food, they were feeding the homeless, and we were dressed up to be a bunch of fundamental Christian white supremacists. And that's the story that the mainstream media, pitiful but still very passionate audience believes. And it's gone. It's so gone here. So there's so many tricks they play. I mean, I think they did the signal blocking too from memory. There was some funny machinery going up all over the place on the buildings around it.
I've seen clips from live streams of people confronting these vehicles that have the direct energy,
the LRADs?
whatever. I don't know exactly what they're called, but they confront the driver saying, "Hey, I know what that is," and then they peel off before they can, really have anything resembling a conversation. And then obviously I've seen some of the results of having the effects of those direct energy weapons, with the puffy faces, puffy lips, and then I'm sure they're just frying their insides when they're doing that as well.
Yeah.
Well, people were getting blisters on their fingers and in their faces. People were getting very, very sick, like not COVID sick or anything like that, but just sort of queasy and a little bit
like sick from a literal buildup of chemicals that shouldn't be in your body.
Yeah. And so what happened is they did that just before they raided the whole Camp Freedom. They made people sick. A bunch of people went home. They'd already been put in concrete blocks, so no more cars could arrive. And so they depleted the people in there that were able to fight back, and then they hit them one morning. So it was a planned effort over 23 days, but they eventually got there and got their way. And it was just so against all principles of free press. And I know many of those people knew about Julian Assange, and many of them were supporters. So I'd love to get that crowd back together. Everyone I talked to there, I talked about Julian Assange, and I saw so many Julian Assange t-shirts in that bunch of people. So yeah, it's encouraging. It's definitely getting out there.
Yes.
But really, we're in such a mirror world.
I just don't know if it's fast enough.
Yeah, it's getting out there, but like Misty said, don't know A, if it's fast enough, and B, if it's enough to actually like activate
make a difference.
people.
Yeah.
Because
I think a lot of people care. Like, a lot of people support Julian Assange, but I think a lot of people don't realize how serious this is, and they're not activating.
There was like in going and covering and participating in like all these anti-war and anti-mandate actions just these past couple of years. Like, I've noticed just the majority of people, because like I walk around with I wear free Assange everywhere I go, like regardless of whether I'm reporting or not. I'm like the most biased protest reporter ever, but I don't fucking care because I don't hide it. But like, I'm an open book about the fact that I'm supporting Julian Assange at these events with my shirts. And I see so many, and I run into so many people that are just like, oh my God, Julian Assange. Like, yes, I love him. Oh man, I'm praying for him. I'm wishing the best for him. What's happening in its case? Like, I don't know what's happening with it. There's just so many people that are like that. And then, you know, you have to go through the whole spiel with them. And they're like, ah, man, damn it. And then, all that.
Well, I think maybe a good kind of bridge to gap would be all the people who have been protesting over the course of the last, year and a half, 2 years or whatever, and just find out what it is, what their movement is. It all ties into Assange. You can make that bridge happen pretty quick. Obviously the things that Missy mentioned earlier with, some of the division with whatever other movement that they may be behind, and they're kind of wishy-washy on Assange based on some of the things that they have heard from corporate media and what have you. Just an opportunity for at least to have that conversation and then just build relationships. I know it's we're past that at this point. But if the opportunity presents itself at some of these events that we're going to in the near future, I just see that as an opportunity just to get the message out more anyway.
Yeah. Yes.
Freedom movements, I usually try and say that, Julian Assange, I really believe, was silenced because of what's rolling out around the world right now. So to apply that logic to the freedom movement, I think that telling people that, explaining, getting them to look at his last Rupley video where he really did call out all of this just before he was never seen again on a video. I always try and send people back there, because then I think they start to see how important free press is and how this is all part of what's going wrong in the world right now. I think that does bring it home to so many people. They start to realize this is the battle they should have been on years ago.
Yes. Oh, I'm so tired, you guys. I really am just so tired. So very tired. And I just get frustrated because I can't find the right words to get people to recognize. Like, again, even people who are Assange supporters, it's hard to get people to give a shit enough to like go do something about it, to go make some phone calls, to go send some emails, to get in the streets. It's really hard. And I get it. Everybody's busy. You got 2 and 3 jobs. You can't take your kid to the doctor. I get all of that stuff. But this, like, we don't have a lot of time.
I'm about to call fucking bullshit on that excuse, because full-time college fucking senior here that, works almost every morning, that's also doing all this other shit with indie media, that still finds
but Glory, you don't have kids, you don't have soccer practice, you don't have grocery, like, you know what I mean? Like,
but you do. But you do.
Yeah.
And where are you?
Fair.
And where are you? Exactly.
That's
I'm about
fair.
to call bullshit on all these fucking excuses, because I'm tired on just like, listen, I know it's not any of our faults that society is this way, that, life is this way, that life gets in the way of so much shit. But I'm about to start calling fucking bullshit on all this shit, because it's like, bro, it's fucking time to go.
Yeah,
I think it's time for people to pull up their big boy and big girl trousers.
Like, like, where's the urge to fucking fight? Where's the urge to actually
people are scared.
Fight?
Yes, people are
I
scared.
think people are scared to put their head on the block, in terms of actually, we're really tired. We've been doing this for years. And the people have been doing it even longer. And we've run out, like, some of us, we're still doing what we can, but you get low on energy, or you feel like it's hopeless sometimes, But I think what prevents other people from actually fucking pulling up their big boy trousers or big girl trousers is that they're scared of putting their head on the block and organizing something in their own local town or whatever. They don't want to be the person that's in charge of Assange.
I'm not asking you to dedicate your life to it, though. No, Alex, I'm not. But just, can you make some fucking phone calls? Yeah. Can you send some emails? Can you tweet at some people? Like, it's really easy to do some of this shit. Come to an event. Help us hype our event.
You don't even have to organize the event.
I'll organize it. Just come. I'll organize it. I got no problem. I'm doing it. Like, it's fine.
Like the whole thing about this is we're not trying to make Assange a martyr. So we don't want anyone to go around acting like a fucking martyr and become another martyr, of protesting, of activism. But it's time to give a fuck. It's time to,
We're well past the time of, like, being afraid to
Yeah.
stick your neck out. And we're well past that time, y'all. Shit's
Mm.
bad. It's getting worse. Like, I don't know what else it's going to take. I honestly don't know what else it's going to take. I really do not. They just took RT completely off of everything. They just took Sputnik completely off of everything. This was all directed by the government.
Dumbasses are fucking cheering it on.
I know,
because
those are
dumbasses. And now y'all are cheering on some of the same actors in the same fucking system, which is persecuting Julian, all because Russian man bad, and I don't know how to analyze any events outside of a vacuum that completely ignores history. Nah, fuck you.
Yeah.
Like Jesus Christ, this is all like. Listen, I know we're focusing in on Assange, but this is all fucking connected.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah,
no,
we've said that forever. All of this is way bigger than Assange. Assange is just the guy that they're using as the proverbial head on the stake. He's the warning. That's it. That's it. And yes, his life, his personal life is worth fighting for. Sure, absolutely. But it's so much fucking bigger than that. And I don't know why I have to explain that to grown ass fucking adults. I really do not. It's really not that complicated. It's really not that complicated. This impacts literally everything else you're fighting for, period. End of story. You are not going to be able to effectively combat anything that they're going to shove down your throats if you cannot have freedom of information, if you cannot spread information, if you can't educate yourself,
if you can't communicate. And people fucking know this. We have history to tell us. We have COINTELPRO to tell us. Yet it doesn't get through people's thick, partisan, propagandized little shit fucking heads that you need to actually fight for this shit. It's a part of the freedoms that you have to fight for, okay?
And they have to be fought for every day.
Yeah, I've been saying this. We're not given voices so some state can regulate when we raise them. We're not giving minds so that way some corporate body can regulate the thoughts that goes on in them. Okay, this shit isn't up for fucking debate.
No, I'm over
it.
And
to get some of the people from the other side of the aisle too to have this register is say, hey, 20 years ago when Patriot Act was introduced, you had all these conservatives, all these Republicans who were parrying it, who were on board, thinking, "Oh, I'm not a terrorist. This will never come back to haunt me." Where we at 20 years later? Where the domestic terrorists are who? The conservatives.
But to be fair, I have better luck with conservatives than I do with people on the left when talking.
Well, that's kind of where my point is now. Since now the conservatives and Republicans are deemed the bad guy, if you will, and now the left is on board with the corporate government side. You can say, hey, look, 20 years ago, Republicans thought they were on board doing the right thing, saying, hey, there's nothing, I got nothing to hide. Why do I care about the Patriot Act? Well, because 20 years later it could come to bite you in the ass real hard.
But the left is authoritarian as fuck. They don't care. Like, they're fine with shit like the Patriot Act. They're cool with that now.
Both sides have gone authoritarian as fuck now. Now that it's time to go to fucking war.
Yeah.
And it can't get through people's thick brains that this is all a part of a never-ending cycle of empire consolidation, of wealth consolidation, of protecting those at the very top, of, making sure that the poor man gets caught up in all these rich man's wars, of making sure that the truth, that we're always straying from the truth. Because now you got all these motherfuckers that are trying to traffic in false flags and atrocity propaganda as a means to distract from the true nature of imperialism, which is something that WikiLeaks fucking revealed. And for fuck's sake, you don't just have WikiLeaks, you have so much history, you have so much declassified documents, you have so much information and knowledge that can be available to you, yet fucking humans suck. Okay, because some of y'all just choose to remain ignorant in the face of all of this, and then when you're educated, you do nothing about it. Okay,
people who lived through Iraq are cheering on war with Russia. Like, are you fucking stupid? How many times does your government get to lie to you before your sense of skepticism kicks in? How many times? Seriously, you got Gulf of Tonkin, you got incubator babies, you got weapons of mass destruction. How many times? How many times? Seriously, I'm curious. How many fucking times? I don't know what to say anymore. Like, these are grown ass fucking adults that are like completely incapable of like being skeptical, of being curious, of asking questions. It's like, oh no, this time they're telling the truth. Really? Oh, God damn it.
I think
the
a lot
vets
of
do
them
need
have
to
got
speak
sucked
up.
along by trolls, online. You know how, I mean, basically they are weak-minded. I mean, I think anyone who was in the left has abandoned it for either non-partisan or whatever, libertarian or whatever. But I mean, they're just out of touch with reality, and they're going along with this like baubles. I've seen a great meme where it has like a Black Lives Matter bauble, and then it's got a red kind of coronavirus bauble, and then a blue election bauble, and then it's got the Ukrainian flag, and it's like bells and whistles, and they go along with it. But I also think that there's these 77th Brigade troll armies, and what they're skilled at doing with the algorithms and everything else that we know is working here, what they're skilled at doing is bringing people along with this flow of kind of commentary, which is totally fake and manufactured. And then they're going, oh yeah, virtue signal, I must go along with this new thing. And so off they go. And so, they're basically suffering. I think we have to look upon these people somewhat, as angry as we all are, as victims of like literal weapons, psychological weapons. And I mean, I've got an OIA in New Zealand answered by the New Zealand government that proves 100% that they're using the UK military psychological weapons on the population, and they're driving fear, and they're trying to bypass consent, all sorts of things. And I've got it written, and you can show that to someone and say, look, this side that you're championing, here's the OIA that shows that they're using weapons on you. Do you understand? And it's like you're telling someone that they've been fooled. How do you do that?
Yeah.
You can't, you just cannot get through to them. I mean, like, Hitler was popular once too, he brought in a whole lot of laws that were illegal. That's right. And so you're going to go along with this and jump off the cliff, whatever, no.
Yeah.
So,
well, I mean, it's like as the West, specifically the West, perpetrates a lot of these war crimes abroad and continues these wars, and with the aid of multinational corporations and fake ass charities, as the West is doing that, it's it's like you said, it's imposing these psyops on its own population. It's giving its own population almost every citizen within the West, this certain degree of psychosis via all these things that go back to Tavistock and MK Ultra and brainwashing people with hyper materialism and hyper consumerism and pop music or rap and shit. And it's just all of that has imposed varying degrees of psychosis.
syndrome.
Varying degrees of psychosis within citizens of Western countries. And it's like part of that keeps, for some reason, it just keeps us away from recognizing the shit that we're doing abroad. I mean,
I'm so tired. Damn it.
I'm not tired.
Seriously.
I'm
I'm tired
really...
and I'm angry and I'm frustrated, and I understand that people are victims of propaganda. Really, I genuinely understand that, but it's difficult for me to remain patient. Like I said, it's over and over, and you've been shown a multitude of times that you're being lied to, and you still don't get it. What is it going to take? I don't understand. I really don't understand what it's going to take for people to recognize that your jumping off point should be they're lying. If it comes from the government and the mainstream media, they're lying. That should be your jumping off point. And then you go from there
again,
and figure it out.
Scared. They're scared of putting their head on the block. They're scared that, what the government told them was true. And what if they don't follow the government and then they end up in terrible, terrible time? It is Stockholm syndrome. And it's like having a government with Munchausen by proxy. It's just killing itself off. Clearly.
Yes.
I mean, there's just planned mayhem in every country. It's like trying to bring on a civil war, and the free press erosion is all part of that. And Julian warned us. He said we were the last free generation.
Yes.
He warned us about the technocracy. He warned us about, the
Facebook and Google
all of it.
Yes. Years ago. Years ago.
And a lot of people say that he got silenced because of what he said about Catalonia. I don't think that was it.
No.
I don't think that was it somehow.
I'm sure that's part of it.
I call bullshit. I think people should look at his last video and his last question.
I think
Yeah,
it's part. I think it's part of it. I'm all for
Sure.
an independent Catalonia, especially the way the Spanish
Of course.
government is
Yeah,
cracking
no, I
down on
wasn't
those
saying
protests.
that.
But
I wasn't saying
but
that.
I know what you're. I know what I get what you're saying.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I think it was without a doubt, a combination.
He just tells too
of
much truth.
of the
Period.
war logs,
Vault
Cablegate,
7.
and Vault 7,
Vault
especially
7.
those three in particular.
Yeah, Vault 7 especially, I think, because that hurt Mike Pompeo's little fifis. He got his fifis hurt, he got embarrassed, and I think that was a huge, like, tipping off point. Like, that was, he could, and listen, the balls on Julian Assange. Holy crap. It's 2017. He's years into illegal and arbitrary detention in the Ecuadorian embassy. He knows that he is public enemy #1 of the world's largest empire, and that motherfucker published Vault 7 any damn way. I don't have that kind of balls. I do not. I don't. I've talked to Eric about this. I do not. I would like to think that I do, but I do not. That's ball. Like that's a level of courage that I don't know many people possess.
No.
Well, I mean, I think it's seen more classified documents than any living person. And if you have done that, and there may be stuff that he's even holding back or held back that he knows, that I think, would make it a done deal that you'd have to say something. Anyone with moral compass that had seen all that must have to have said something, and I don't know. That's why I don't understand all these people who virtue signal and they've got no moral compass at all.
Their moral compass is whatever
whatever gets them
whatever bell and
retweets.
whistle.
Whatever gets them retweets. I stand with Ukraine. Fuck out of here. You don't
Whatever
even know
has
what's happening in Ukraine.
Whatever
Shut
has
up.
a brand behind it, like, oh yeah, I stand with the Ukrainian people. Oh, where the fuck were you the past 8 years then, while the entire Donbass region was getting shelled by neo-Nazis that the US funded? Where was the little?
But they're good Nazis, Glory. These are the good Nazis. It's fine.
We just have to put up with the Nazis for now so we can fight Russia.
Yeah, Zelensky. He's so dreamy.
He's
he's Jewish. He can't be hanging out with Nazis. He's hanging out with Nazis. Period. I mean, Alex Rubinstein. I just talked to him earlier on my show. And Max Lubenthal wrote a great article detailing a multitude of events that are there's photographic evidence, there's video. This dude hangs out with Nazis on a regular basis. He gives them awards.
There's even a BBC documentary. There's even a BBC documentary from around 2014 that completely
proves he's Jewish. He's a fucking Nazi.
Bro,
he's a Nazi.
Barack Obama was president of the United States of America.
He's a Nazi. I'm so sick of that shit. Oh, he's Jewish. He can't. No, I don't care. He's a Nazi. Okay. He hangs out with Nazis. He gives them awards. He praises them. He defends that. He's a Nazi.
And not to mention the fact all the footage of bombs is like 2018, and the maternity hospital where the pregnant woman actor was at, was actually not acting as a maternity hospital. Every single thing, every story, and you're not hearing any you're not having any mobile phone footage from Ukraine, are we? Or I haven't seen any.
Today, but mainstream media doesn't talk about it. But today, Ukraine bombed Donetsk again, and there was like 20 some odd casualties, and there's a video of it, but mainstream media is not talking about that. We can't talk about that because Ukraine did it.
I'll tell you something else, because people will try to be like, oh my god, like Ukraine looks like Syria, or all of South Ukraine looks like Yemen now, and it's like, first of all, shut the fuck up. Second of all, it's like I spend time with like a couple of friends in voice calls, and we use this wonderful tool called the Snapchat map. Yes, it's obviously people put up the stories themselves, so like it's not like completely against your will surveillance, but like we look on the Snapchat map, we click in places in Ukraine, and we see what's happening, and you can see some of what's happening, and I'd like to report that it doesn't look like Yemen. Okay,
it doesn't look like Yemen.
It doesn't look like Iraq. It doesn't look like Syria.
No,
it doesn't look like the Congo. It doesn't look, it doesn't
Somalia.
Look like Somalia or Sudan. No.
Have you seen the meme with the?
But I'll tell you what interesting thing happened though is now you try and use the Snapchat map to look at Ukraine, and there's nothing. There's nothing in Ukraine.
Yeah, of course.
Interesting. Of course, because and it's like you were saying, Alex. They have to traffic in false flags, like the whole, you know, chemical bioweapons, whatever the fuck you want to call them, these nuts for all I care. And, you know, and you also have them using, you know, Putin bombing maternity centers or whatever as a means to use atrocity propaganda to distract from what the truth is. It's like, y'all really don't
You
care
guys, they're
about
rehabilitating Hitler.
bro.
Fuck.
A staged, I'm sorry, but a staged false flag bombing of a location isn't imperialism. Russian imperialism is what their mining companies are doing to try and, you know, beef up their cobalt reserves and trying to mine the seabed and arranging contracts for that, or what their activities in Africa are in being involved in like gold smuggling out of African countries, for instance, or how you get private mercenaries to go into fucking African countries to bolster their militaries as they fight against, you know, terrorists that are most likely funded by the West to keep it in a never-ending cycle of violence. So that way, whoever controls a territory that's in dispute can get all the gold and the riches and the profits from there. Because, you know, that's just an example of imperialism that no one wants to fucking talk about. But oh my god, this military operation, that's imperialism. No, bitch, you wouldn't know imperialism if it smacked you in the fucking face. And don't act like you care.
No, and Putin is not Hitler. He's not worse than Hitler. I don't know why that's a thing that's happening right now, but it's fucking gross. Oh.
Didn't he get canned from the World Economic Forum as well? Didn't he get in trouble for not saying the right thing, or is that not true?
Okay, so they took his page down off, but I think that that's mostly for just appearances, to be honest with you.
I think so too.
They don't want to be associated.
It's like,
you know what I mean?
like, oh, you know, Vladimir Putin, he's not going to appear at the World Economic Forum, but he's going to appear.
I think it just goes with the story.
Yeah, but then he's going to appear at some other global forum, fucking whatever. And, you know, Naftali Bennett, of course, he feels comfortable enough to meet with both leaders. That's my red flag. It's like when I saw that fucking headline that said, like, Israel choosing to mediate with both countries because Naftali Bennett believes that he has a decent relationship between the two leaders. That was my red flag. Yeah. I was like, oh, both of them are cool with Israel.
Yeah.
Goodness.
I was going to say, I saw an amazing meme that was this little boy in Yemen, and he's on the demolished ruins of his house, and he's standing on top of it all with a Ukrainian flag. And I think they see us now. It's so heart-wrenching, but like it's so true, and it kind of summed it all up for me. You know, the whole thing. I've just been tweeting that out today, but oh my god.
Yeah, like maybe now they'll care about us. Maybe if we like somebody tweeted out like a yellow and blue flag with something else on it, and like, hey, if we turn, and so I did it. I was like, okay, free Assange. If I turn it yellow and blue, will you care? Does that make you care? Well, I'm gonna try. Let's try it. It's fucking crazy.
What was going on with WikiLeaks and Stella, you know, the other week? Are we allowed to talk about that, or is it off topic?
We're allowed to talk about whatever the fuck we want.
But I mean, like, what was that?
It's fucking weird, Alex. It's fucking weird.
I'm really trying not to go off.
We're trying to. Okay, so listen. Here's the thing. I don't trust anybody, and when we've been begging for word from Julian Assange to hear anything about how he's doing, how his health is doing, if he, you know, anything,
it was gross.
And all we get is a fucking ad for some app. Like that's weird to me.
That has shady.
That's shady.
I mean, I was trying to think back. The last time we heard from Julian, I think, was when Yanis Varoufakis talked to him on the phone, and he commented about how, isn't it interesting that the markets are disjoining now, the stock markets and the people are now going off in different tangents, and that was his reflection on it. And I remember thinking, God, I would have loved to have heard more about him, but at least he was commenting on something intelligent and world issues. Then other than that, I think the only time I've heard of his voice since that video on Rutley might have been Stella on the phone with the boys.
Yeah.
I other than that,
which broke
not
my
heard
heart.
a word,
That,
except
like,
for a Ukrainian plea of help for an app. I mean, come on.
Some app that has shady financial ties. Like, that's what's weird to me is it's got State Department backing. And then
the survey.
Here's the thing.
You can be mad.
I don't even believe that that's Julian. Honestly, it's like, listen, if it was genuinely Julian that recommended that app, I'd be like, okay, I can live with that because I know how hard it is for political prisoners to get,
Information.
actually deep information, like, you know, the shady ties that an app might have. But
Yeah,
I
but
mean,
he knows about 2014 Ukraine. He's not
Yeah.
stupid.
yeah,
Unless he's lost. I mean, like, okay, he could have lost his mind. I mean, who could blame him? But like, no,
Well,
I'm
that's
sorry.
okay,
It just did
wait.
not ring true. And then the survey that the WikiLeaks put out,
Yes, that was
the
fucking
next
weird.
one.
Yes,
For
that was weird.
God's
But hold
sake,
on,
like,
hold on, because here's another thing that bothers me. They told us that you know, there are these assurances, and if he gets extradited, then anything that he says or does can be used against him to put him under special administrative measures. So he's out there talking about Ukraine. Like, that's why are you talking about that? Why that's
talking
putting
about
yourself in danger.
Yeah, no, fuck that
No.
shit. And
It's weird.
yeah, no,
No,
it's not.
doesn't
It's
add up.
weird. It doesn't
No.
add up. It's not right fucking at all, especially when we've been asking so much time just to hear from the dude.
Nobody
like
got a letter from
in
him.
a way where we can be sure that it's
That it's him.
actually him saying it. Because
Right.
you know, oh my, nah, fuck it, I'm saying it. Even in that fucking article talking about the marriage that's supposed to happen, did we get no indication from Julian?
No.
Like none of his thoughts about the marriage, you know, none of his thoughts on the ceremony, no words from him, no quotes from him, none of that.
And here's another thing, him getting married, that shows that he's of sound mind. Like, aren't we supposed to be using the fact that he is in a poor mental like, it's all of it's very weird. And I don't like to be skeptical of I don't trust anybody though. Nobody, zero people, zero fucking people. And it's not about you know, me not wanting to hurt somebody's feelings. It's about saving Julian Assange's life.
Yeah,
period.
well,
That's all I'm worried about.
Like, listen, it sounds harsh, but you know, we're in a fight right now.
Yeah.
We're in a fucking, you know, tenacious fight that we have to be in. Like, we have to be in this fight. And like, listen, of course, Assange activists are going to question shit. Of
everything.
Course, Assange activists are going to have dissident views to, I don't know.
We're not just going to fall in line. We're not just going to fall in line. We're going to be skeptical. We're going to question everything.
Where's the bail appeal for his life and death situation?
Yes.
Where is it?
What the fuck?
Where is it?
What
actually?
The fuck?
Like, can you get Alexander Mercouris on, or someone who actually knows his legal stuff in England?
So
like, someone needs to be asked this question.
I talked to Deepa, and she said that because they hit him with the bail jumping before, that it's kind of like a one strike, you're out. And so he's considered a flight risk now because it's a ridiculous bail jumping charge, but they're now using that against him. Apparently, that's at least the gist I was getting from Deepa. I would like to have somebody on though.
Yeah, even just putting him under house arrest. I was talking with my friend Tina the other day, and we were talking about how Richie covered the story about how you know, a literal terrorist was allowed to be put under house arrest by the UK government, and they spent loads of resources to do this. So the precedent to put someone on house arrest is established, and Julian's not even a fucking terrorist.
No.
In fact, they're scared of what he's going to say. He's seen more classified documents than any living man. And so, you know, they're scared of who will be exposed to his information. This is what it's always been.
And it's also about sending a message. I mean, they're using him literally to send a message to everybody else. Then that's why they're doing it so very much out in the open. And they're, you know, they're not like, it's all very clear what's going on. He is literally the head on the stake. He's the warning.
Ayo. Yeah. Ayo, Lucky. That's a good, and real quick, shout out Lucky Burrito. She made this little Free Commander X necklace. You can't really see it, but it's homemade and I love it. But yes, Lucky, great question in the chat. Where's all the money? You know, that
where
DAO
is all the money?
That DAO money that sent a couple of $1 million of it to the fucking Ukrainian government.
Oh God! What?
No, stop. That happened?
What?
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
That Murat Pak, the Pak guy, he was like, "Oh,
the digital money."
Yeah. The DAO.
Oh, look, I'm sorry, but Anons have gone a bit crazy. Not all the ones we love, but Anons have gone a bit crazy too, have they not?
They've been co-opted. Anonymous is co-opted. Y'all.
Oh my God.
Okay, there are some Anons who are still cool.
There are some great
Anonymous.
There's some great Anons. There are some amazing Anons.
But Anonymous, like the actual Twitter, that's fucking CIA. That is the CIA. Stay far away from it.
Okay, Uranon Central grifters. Uranon News. Half of that is fucking Fed Tonner. So no thanks.
Yeah. No,
That's
they've been
gross.
totally co-opted. Jesus. And Beth, you're welcome, because I know Beth is getting real pissed off too about all this shit and all the shadiness and all the weirdness. And I want a proof of life. I want some proof of life.
Yeah.
Yeah, a
I
lot
want
of people have
proof
been
of
saying
life.
that for many years.
Yes.
And this whole lot of tweets from Stella and WikiLeaks has not helped. The fact the inaction by the lawyers has not helped. The fact that so many big voices for Julian won't mention a grassroots supporters.
Yeah, that's
Like, what are
weird.
they scared of? Are they scared of things that we might say that might not be like, you know, like
In
we're not
line.
self-censoring
Yeah.
enough or whatever?
And real
Like,
quick,
please.
yeah. And real quick, here's the thing about the Assange DAO. So a tweet from Murat Pak a couple weeks ago said the whole Vanguard's treasury of censored now goes to human rights. The Vanguard being like, I guess, some of the top donors to the Assange DAO. So 670 Ethereum, which is about 1.9 million US dollars out of I believe it's the $55 million raised for the DAO. 1.5 million of that 55 million is going to the Ukrainian government.
What the fuck? If I donated to that shit, I would be pissed.
I mean,
Yeah.
is this some kind of like pandering to pretend or say that you've got nothing to do with Russia and so I'm going to support the other
Maybe.
side because then
Yeah,
that will
maybe.
give you an
Maybe.
impression that I'm not for Russia and Putin. Because what? We believe that bullshit? Like, who really believes it?
Some
Like,
people do believe that, so I kind of get the
But
whole
so-
like,
yeah, but-
the optics of it. But still,
I don't care if they've lost their well, no, they haven't lost them. Julian hasn't lost them, but WikiLeaks is going to lose its amazing reputation with this bullshit.
yeah.
Is it not?
I mean, it's like,
Isn't that
listen,
important?
Listen,
Like,
I don't want to hear shit about people. Nobody's criticizing me for this yet. Love y'all for that. Love y'all for that. But I don't want to hear shit about my idea to use the DAO money to bribe judges and prison guards when they give away almost $2 million of that shit to the fucking Ukrainian government that has Nazis in it.
Listen, I'm ready to can we spend some of that money on like one of those big wrecking balls and we can Hulk smash some prison walls?
Yeah.
Like I'm down for that. Let's go.
Bro, I can't even
what
say
about
the shit.
in the
I
what about
can't
the London
even
group
say
if
the
they did Belmarsh?
I don't even want to say this on.
I just wonder whether we should, I've thought about surrounding Wellington Parliament at some points, but what about surrounding Belmarsh Prison or all the exits with so many people?
I would love
Like
to
working,
I wish I could
everyone
get to
working
London.
towards that to help,
Yeah.
like even international people get London people there, anyone they know, get everyone organizing that so that they
Yeah.
can just crowd outside and
I would
and
love to
hold
do
the
that,
line.
Alex. If I could
Hold the
afford to go to
line.
London, I would.
I mean, Commander X
Not
said
you
that on
though,
a
but I mean we help get
No, I know.
people there from
Commander X
England
said that
and
on a
Europe.
Vigil a couple of years ago. And Commander X is in jail now. But he said a couple of years ago, like, yeah, we should do an Occupy Belmarsh, and I'm like,
Yeah. We should be camped out on the lawn of Belmarsh right now. You know what I'm saying? Like that's where we're at. That's where we're at.
Mm.
We don't y'all, he is dying. Period. This is murder in slow motion. Period.
Yeah.
We don't have a lot of time. Like this is it. This is really
Yeah.
it. And if he's extradited, it's over, you guys. Like that's trigger warning, he'll kill himself. He will fucking kill himself. I mean, everybody knows that.
bro,
I don't know what else to say.
No, like we can't have another martyr, guys. Please, I'm begging you. Like, oh my
Every
God.
time we have a truth teller, we otherize them and we mock them and you know what I mean? And then 20 years later, we're like, oh, he was so great. How about we support our truth tellers in real fucking time? Can we try that just once? Just one time. Let's try that. Let's just try it and see how it works.
How about recognize a genocide in real time instead of recognizing it 100 years later?
How about
Let's
that?
give that one a shot too.
Oh, God damn.
Right. Yeah, nah, I'm just
Seriously.
I got really heated hearing about how some of that fucking DAO money was going.
I can't believe
towards
they
the
sent
fucking
money to
Ukrainian
Ukraine.
government.
I can't
Ugh.
believe they sent money to Ukraine. Oh my
Yeah.
God. I can't
That
believe
you
that
know
happened.
because
I
Lord
wonder whether
knows,
it was just to legitimize
Lord knows,
Anons
while we were
somehow.
asking hear from Julian every 2 seconds. It's, ooh, the Dow's gone up. The Dow's gone up. The Dow's gone up. Ooh, look how much money the Dow is raising.
What good did that do?
Hey,
what are they doing with
hey,
it?
Like, hey, what about that guy that you're yeah, exactly. That's my point. What good did that fucking Dow do? What good did the
Have they spent any of that money? What has it gone to? I want to know where it's going. What's happening with it? How's it being spent? Is it being spent on lawyers? What is it being spent on? Are we going to spend some of that on promoting what's happening? Are we going to like billboards or whatever? Or what is
like,
that money?
Listen, I got suggestions for how you should spend it.
I know you do.
I'm not even going to say it. I'm not even going to say that on the internet because
Don't.
that's the level of scumbaggery that I need to see from these people. I need to see some energy that says, I want to save this man's life.
Yeah.
Okay? Because
why do we have more energy than they do? That's what I'm wondering about.
At this point, if we can just like let Julian be alive, then that'll at least be some sort of win against the Empire's murderous agenda. Because it's very clear that part of it is to kill Julian. That part of it is for retaliation. So if we can at least stop that, it'll be some sort of dub. Okay? Stop that, and then we can work on resurrecting the Free Press's corpse.
Yeah.
And we're not going to use some fucking bullshit law to do it either.
No.
Okay?
No. Can we stop pretending that working inside the system is going to work? Because that's not going to work. Cynic said cocaine and hookers. That's like my favorite thing in the whole world. I mean, not cocaine and hookers, but there's, you guys haven't seen.
Clip it.
But seriously, if you haven't seen it, there's this guy on a local, I don't even know where it's from, but like some local news channel, and it's like the local lottery's like up to whatever, and there's
like
$1
billion
who's like, she's going around at like interviewing people, and this guy's sitting there filling out his little tickets or whatever, and she's like, so if you win, what are you going to spend the money on? He says cocaine and hookers, and I love that guy because you have to go watch it. It's hilarious, but somebody's going to clip that out.
Oh. Hey, how did your radio go on TNT Radio Live? Have you done that yet?
Yeah, I did that today, and I think it went okay. I mean, awesome. I don't know. I'm pretty sure for the first 45 minutes you could hear my heartbeat through my microphone. I was super fucking nervous, but I think it went all right. I don't know. We'll see.
I've been doing them. I'm being the weekly or fortnightly New Zealand correspondent for Mike Ryan. And he used to have Asia, but well, he still has Asia Pacific today, but he's gone away from the film now. So
he's so nice.
Yeah, it's great. I just want to have a way of sharing them because you have to listen live. Otherwise, I think they do repeat it, but you have to listen live, and I don't know how to download it yet.
Like you can go back and watch, like archives, I guess. Like you can go back and watch.
I haven't found it
or listen
yet.
to whatever.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
So today I had on Keith McHenry from Food Not Bombs, John O'Donnell, who's a comedian, and Alex Rubenstein, who's an independent investigative journalist. And tomorrow I have Jimmy Dore, Rachel Blevins, and Tara Reid. So
great.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
I'm excited. That's a lot of talking, though. It's like 15 hours a week of talking. A lot of fucking talking. Anyway, so okay. Do we need to like go through any articles or whatever? Do you guys think? Or
I think people got the gist of it.
Yeah. I mean, I was gonna like Mary Costakidas posted some shit. She did tweet about bail. So can we please make a push for bail? Bail for hashtag bail for Assange. Let's make a push for bail. Let's go after Priti Patel. I mean, go after her, but I mean, if you want to,
lawyers scumbag it. Lawyers scumbag it. Be lawyers. Be like,
fuck the lawyers. I'm done with the lawyers. Honestly, I'm done with the fucking lawyers.
I'm done with them too. That's why I'm saying that their only purpose now is just to scumbag it.
Yeah,
you know,
do something. Do something.
Don't just play so by the book with this whole, I'm a distinguished human rights lawyer. I'm on the advisory board of the Clooney Foundation. Look at me. Like, no, fuck you. Get on the ground, scumbag it, save this man's life.
Throw yourself into the gutter and let's go. You know what I'm saying? Let's go. I'm so tired. I don't even fucking like lawyers anyway. I don't trust lawyers. So I've never been we've been talking about fuck the lawyers for years. We're not going to get like a legal recourse here. There is no legal that you can't appeal to their better angels. Like they don't have any. So it's going to take mass public pressure, period. It's going to take people in the street. It's going to take people making noise. We have to make it politically untenable for them to continue.
I think we have to make individuals who've got a lot of stake in this really uncomfortable.
Yes.
In a big way.
Listen,
I'm not advocating violence. I'm just
No, like, you know, if that's not your thing, make them feel morally uncomfortable.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Like
I
Priti
don't-
Patel shouldn't be able to walk down the street without people yelling at her to free Assange. I mean, that's what we're at. That's where we're
Yeah.
at. Period. I mean, you have that amount of free speech left. Use it.
I don't
Use
think
it.
people like Priti Patel walk around in public anymore. I mean, I think
No,
this
I
is
wouldn't
the
if I
way
were
for
her.
most people in government because of what's going on right now. Yeah,
I wouldn't if I were her, but
they
there are
wouldn't.
individuals on this here planet that can reach a wide radius of ears given the proper voice and the proper megaphone. So
Yeah.
you know, you don't need to be accurate with it. Just if you think Priti Patel is in the area and you got a megaphone on you.
Megaphones are great.
It's pretty telling how much some of our impacts in this and in other various things going on in the world right now is how many of these public figures are not going in public.
I mean, did you see what Max Blumenthal did to Rokana? I wouldn't walk outside either.
Yeah, Rokana.
Yeah.
Where your ass at, huh?
Where's Rokana? I mean, where's AOC? Where's Bernie Sanders? Where are any of these fucking people who pretend to care about press freedom and free speech? Every World Press Freedom Day, they got some shit to say.
Look at that fucking event. That event. And then he said nothing about, hey, Rokana. I don't know if I'm getting the number right because it's been a minute, but HRES 1175 introduced by Tulsi Gabbard about a year or two ago now. Hey, that was a resolution that called for Julian Assange to be, the charges against him to be dropped. So could you maybe, you know, reintroduce that? Do something?
He's not going to. He won't even talk about it. And the only time he did talk about it, he accused or alluded to the fact that Julian Assange helped Putin.
Bro,
Fuck out of here, scumbag.
I want to see. Yeah, if you're serious about this, I want to see, because listen, it's the Congress. What like what are you? You guys are PR for corporations and the oligarchy and the empire and the military industrial complex and the intelligence agencies. So, you know, like I said, treat it with the respect it deserves. You know, I want to see motherfuckers get out onto that floor, you know, because you have the ability to, being in Congress. You know, if I tried that shit, I get shot. So, like, one of you motherfuckers on the inside, I want to see you get on the floor, go, man, y'all some punk ass hoes. You're a punk ass if you don't co-sponsor my resolution. You're a punk ass if you don't co-sponsor my resolution. I'm throwing hands with your ass if you don't co-sponsor my resolution. I don't care how stupid it sounds, okay? Because I'm like crazy about this at this point.
Yeah. Well, where's Tulsi? Like, Tulsi went to CPAC or whatever and like talked about how press freedom. She didn't mention Julian Assange once.
Tulsi is a world leader.
I know, but I'm just saying.
Forum.
I understand that, but I'm just saying she's the one that introduced the legislation.
Yeah, but also, you know, the only MP in New Zealand that spoke out. Guess what? World leader.
Well, they all are.
Like, they know they have to come on board because they're losing credibility. So they put a couple of people up, and I'm not saying it's not good that Golriz grey hair. She was an Iranian refugee and lawyer who became a Green Party MP. So she's the only one who's spoken out. That I'm not saying it's bad that she spoke out, but what's interesting is obviously they're losing so much credibility worldwide now in the media. They know that they have to send some like people out to start kind of clawing it back. And I don't have any trust in any politician at this point. I don't know why anyone would.
I don't
why
either,
anyone would have any trust in the legal system.
Exactly. That's why I say
I'm willing to exploit them. I am willing to exploit them. I'm
by all
willing to
means.
Use them. They have huge platforms.
Absolutely.
If you want to come out and talk about
reward them,
I will
reward them for their. But I think we have to call it out as well.
Marjorie Taylor Greene and Marco Rubio. Okay.
Yeah,
I want to give that Congress the respect it deserves, and I want to see motherfuckers throwing hands because that would be more honest to their character than the farce that they put on now. Like, please, no.
I totally get it.
I don't like soap operas. I don't
either, especially not ones that star psychopaths. I'll pass. Hard pass on that.
I just want to know who's not part of the World Economic Forum at this point.
Nobody that's elected, probably.
I looked for New Zealand, and there's a group called Global Shapers as well. And I had a little look-see on their LinkedIn profiles. Now, they're all rewarding the police about brutally breaking up the protest. They were all tending to be diversity, or they're in a policy position. And one of them was the human rights advisor for Wellington Parliament, for fuck's sake. It was a joke. What these people are in Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Ministry of Business, Agriculture. They're across the board, and they've got their tentacles, and they're the sort of people that start off this kind of, oh, the virtual signaling thing to do now is this. They're those kind of people. And then you've got the world leader type of people. And then before the world leader program, there was another older program that was running in the 80s and 90s. So there is graduates every year, and they're everywhere. They're in every institution, and they're pushing the usual Agenda 21 bullshit.
Yep.
And they care not about the environment. I can tell you that much, having worked in academia. These people are taken, and it's become really clear now. I used
The
to be a
chat's
little
talking
bit
about
more
the chat's talking about
naive.
Claire Daly. Can we clone her?
Claire
Let's clone
Daly is
her.
amazing. Yeah,
She's awesome.
EU Parliament.
Let's
Yeah,
clone her.
yep.
We need
Yeah.
to clone
So she's
her.
Irish, eh?
Yeah.
Irish. A bit of sanity there.
Yes.
Good.
God
Yeah.
damn it, I
She's
love
amazing.
her. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you know, we know that anyone decent is pretty much out of politics at this point, and there are a few people who will use Julian's name now to kind of get ahead of this absolute travesty they have had over the last 2 years in the mainstream media. They have lost so much reputation.
Yeah.
And I, for one, will be focusing on media in New Zealand just because of how bad it is here now for everyone. And because I know, I mean, I'm already banned from the British High Commission and the Parliament, and so like I can't go anywhere near these buildings anymore. Or my MP, who's currently going to be the mayor of Wellington, so that's going to be great. So I'm banned from all these people. So I think the media is the only place for me now.
Go to, like
to fight.
in the States, go to your local media, go to your local papers, go to your local TV networks, write letters to the editor, start pressuring those kinds of people. Cause I think that although they are still controlled, I think you have a better chance of like getting into a local.
And I think that's when you start focusing onto the people, making people feel uncomfortable in their individual jobs where they know the heat's on them and that the grandkids will be embarrassed of their actions. Just getting that message across to them. I think it's going to be really powerful compared to individual politicians, rather than trying to sit outside embassies and stuff. They're hardened. They're not going anywhere.
Yeah.
They're used to it. Yeah.
Okay, let's wrap this shit up because I'm going to lose my voice and I have another 3-hour show tomorrow. I can already feel it going.
I'll see you on Friday, Misty.
Yes, I'll see you on Friday. I'm very excited. Alex is coming on Friday. Yeah, yes, your Saturday because you're coming from the future. We're talking to Alex
I am.
in the future.
I'm always in the future over here in New Zealand. Yeah.
Okay, Corey Jones, do you have anything you want to hype before we go?
Yeah. So and it's good because I'm on my way to losing my voice too. I'm gonna get some water and a cough drop right after I get off this. But yeah, tomorrow I'm gonna be on a JB Font show at 11 a.m. Pacific time, 2 p.m. East Coast time. So check that out. And then this is an important update regarding Commander X's case. Recently we put out a video because we're looking to get some mitigation letters written for Commander X so we can kind of like, flood the courts with mitigation letters. At Free Commander X _ on Twitter is where you can look at all the information for that if you're interested in, helping X get out, because right now where we're at is we're just trying to get, a sentence that essentially ensures that he gets out as soon as possible, because, with his age and his health, that's just what we need now. And then another important update, it's last minute, but we got an email from his lawyer, actually, that there's going to be that tomorrow at 2 p.m. West Coast time, so 5 p.m. East Coast time, there's going to be a short arraignment hearing where basically all they're going to do is they're going to represent the charges to Commander X. But what's going to happen is the Orlando indictment is now going to have a Northern California district case number, because they basically transferred the case from Orlando to the Northern District of California, so he wouldn't have to travel cross country to fight that case, with his age and with his health. So that's what's gonna happen. It's gonna
hang on a second. Hang on, Hamza. He's 94 and his last name is Levy, and he's amazing. Eric, I have a painting of him right there.
Yeah, but pretty much it's going to be nothing new because all the updates have been coming out through the Free Commander X Twitter and via either me, Keith, or Steve whenever we can get to these hearings. So
I brought it up when Keith was on today. So I did.
Awesome.
We talked about it. Yeah.
So yeah, tomorrow is just going to be an arraignment hearing, which reflects that the Santa Cruz indictment is being dropped to a misdemeanor because they couldn't prove over $5,000 in damages as a result of the DDoS charges, and it's also going to reflect the transfer of the Orlando indictment from the Middle District of Florida to the Northern District of California. So that's what that hearing is going to be. It's going to be small. I'm sure it's going to be nothing new really. But we'll put out the updates through the Free Commander X _ on Twitter. The big one is going to be March 29th. That's Tuesday, March 29th at 9 a.m. We're going to be outside the San Jose District Courthouse in Northern California to protest for Commander X. And that's when they're gonna really enter the plea deal, and they're gonna start getting into sentencing, which is why we're putting out the stuff on mitigation and asking anybody who's interested to write a letter and such. So the big hearing is going to be Tuesday, March 29th at 9 a.m. Get to the courthouse at 8:30 so we can protest and stuff before the actual hearing starts. But yeah, that's that. Again, I'll reiterate again, for any updates on that, keep an eye on @FreeCommanderX _ on Twitter. For me, you can find me on Twitter, whatever, such as Glory Jones. How many other Glory Jones use? I come up with the hashtag free Assange next to it. I have a Hive blog. It's @0clips with 2 E's, zooming through my promos because I'm crazy. Free the truth, finding a new time for it. But what we talk about? We talk about this shit and other shit dealing in this world. That
should be our tagline. We talk about this shit and other shit.
Fuck, I completely forgot about Slow News Day. I apologize. Slow News Day.
Scoop morning.
Slow News Day. Morning show is going to be on hold for this week because Steve and Pasta are moving to Vegas to get in a studio there. I don't know if y'all saw the announcement this morning, but pretty much the morning show is being extended to 3 hours from 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. Pacific time, 4 days a week, I believe, Monday through Thursday. But yeah, that's happening. So Slow News Day, I'm on that. Check that out. SlowNewsDayShow.com, @SlowNewsDayShow on Twitter. Our awesome tech ninja @AbortYou on Twitter. I'm forgetting everything.
I think you did okay. I'm pretty sure you remembered everything.
I made it through the stream without crying. That's the best I could do.
I know.
So I didn't make it. I didn't make it through the stream without sounding like a lunatic, but I made it through without tears falling. So
that's all right.
Did better than I thought.
Yeah, that's a win. Okay, Alex, do you have anything coming up you want to hype? I'm going to drop Sleepy Josh's buy me a coffee link, by the way, just because he's awesome.
Yeah,
we love Sleepy Josh. Yeah,
do that.
Okay, Alex, what you got?
Well, check out my channel. I've been covering Assange actions for a long time, but today I put up a really important video repost on Alex Hill's channel. It's not a very big one, but just because we've had so much trouble getting the New Zealand story out of abuses, it would be really nice if people would share my last video. It actually belongs to Chantel Baker on Facebook, but I know most people don't have Facebook, so I thought I'd repost it there. I'm Greenweaver Arch on Twitter and also Candles for Assange, number 4. I'll be listing protests in my threads as I usually do, and on Facebook for any kind of global events, any kind of upcoming events, I usually list them all together. And I'm hoping that we can get something together for a global action against this decision, for bail, as you say, bail for Assange, bells for Assange for his wedding, and then the 3rd year anniversary of his arrest and kidnapping from the Ecuadorian embassy. We have to be on to the 11th of April as well. 5th of April, didn't you say, Misty?
Yep,
murder. Yeah, I'd love
the
to
11th
people's events. Yeah. So I think, I'd love to help promote anyone's events and get them all onto one thread again. I've been a little bit out of action for a while, not doing so much, but I'm back, and please, tag me and I will try and include your graphic or whatever, help you out if you need a graphic for any event at all. I'll keep it posted and pinned on my profile at Twitter. So
Excellent.
thank you.
Thanks for joining us. It was good that you could
No,
jump
pleasure.
in. Okay, Eric,
Good
do you
to
have
meet
anything
you.
coming up?
I'm doing a lot of behind the stuff right now. I just sent you a link for my channel, but I'm building up networks and relationships for veterans to be connecting more with the community, to get that story out more about what the last 20 years experience has been like in the military, and the amount of deployments that has just taken a toll on the entire military force. But I have had some pretty good conversations with some people, and I had my two more recent ones have been a lot more veteran focused. The one that I'm really proud of the most is with author Rosa Del Duca. She is a conscientious objector. She's got a really great story, and she wrote a book about it. Fantastic book. And just trying to create that bridge between civilian and military or veteran communities, and just having people understand the toll that war takes on people, so we don't go into another 20-year war here that right around the corner. That's kind of where my angle is now with my channel at this point.
Cool. Okay. You guys know I hate hyping my own stuff, but I will talk about, I just started a new show on TNT Radio. First show was today. Tomorrow I have Jimmy Dore, Rachel Blevins, and Tara Reid coming on. It's from 3 to 6 p.m. Eastern. I would love to have you guys check it out and support it, and hype it up. And that's all I'm gonna hype. Other than DC, please come to DC April 10th and 11th. We need you there. If you can in any way find the ability to get to DC for April 10th and 11th, we desperately need people in the streets. If you cannot make it to DC, please host an event in your area. We will help you. I will help you. We will help you. Whatever you need. If you need graphics, if you need advice, if you don't know how to get started, if you need to find other people in your area, if you don't want to do it yourself, I'll try to reach out on my Twitter page and try to find other people in your area so that you can organize with them. Whatever you need to do, we will do it. We just need people to activate themselves. And other than that, get loud, very, very loud. Make phone calls, send emails, tweet people, write letters to the editor, whatever you can do. Everybody can do something. Whatever you can do, now's the time. Now is the fucking time.
Ring Priti Patel.
Yes. Everybody call tomorrow.
Yeah.
Everybody, literally everybody, call Priti Patel multiple times if you want. I don't care. But we need to do something. We need to. Rob, I'm not fundraising for anything right now. We already reached our goal for the DC event. So yeah, we don't need funding for anything right now. Thanks mostly to you, Rob. Rob is incredibly generous and a great supporter. We love Rob.
Yeah, thank you, Rob.
Yes.
Much
okay.
love, Rob.
So Cynic, facts on the ground. I'm still gonna be doing facts on Friday. So scheduling is gonna change, obviously, because my show's from 3 to 6. So usually I was doing facts on Friday at 4, and Facts Remain was at 4. Jesse and I are gonna work out a different time to do those things. I definitely want to continue to do both of those shows, especially Facts Remain, because that's really important to me. I feel really passionate about.
Can't you stream out your TNT radio podcast onto your channel?
I doubt it.
No, you're not allowed to.
I don't know. I could ask, but I doubt it. I mean, I don't know. I could ask. I could certainly ask.
I mean, yeah, it's an internet radio, but that doesn't mean to say I'm sure they'd love things being shared so that people could find out what TNT radio sounds like.
That's true.
Maybe just the odd one or something.
They are very new. It is very new, so they are trying to build and grow, and they don't censor me. I have no restrictions whatsoever, other than maybe I should not say the F word so much.
Oh,
but but I can talk to whoever I want. I can schedule whoever I want. I can talk about whatever I want.
I've talked about some pretty heavy topics on TNT already.
I mean, today we talked about CBDCs and
I mean,
I can talk about whatever the fuck I want, which is nice. So support that show. Support all platforms that do not censor, please. All of them. Odyssey, Rockfin, Rumble, all of them. They don't censor. I don't care. Let's go. We gotta diversify our platforms. Fuck YouTube. I realize we're on YouTube right now, but fuck YouTube. Okay. So I think that's all we have. Please get loud. Please get loud. We need you. I'll be less annoying. My husband's sitting right next to me and he just goes, I'll be less annoying to them. I'll still be annoying to you. Get out of here, fool. Okay. All right. That's all we have for you guys. Thanks everybody for showing up in the chat. We love you, and we'll see you again soon.